markets. And of course, in this edition of Financial Markets on the 29th of July, we talk about the Uganda Securities Exchange, and we look at what's happening at the Uganda Securities Exchange. And today on the program, we are going to be talking to Mr. Bob Musinguzi later on in the show, and we are going to be talking about registry of companies. Mr. Bob Musinguzi is the manager and the managing director of the SCD registrars at the Uganda Securities Exchange, and we are talking about the registry and corporate governance of listed companies. If you're out there, you're a company, you would like to know what corporate governance means, and of course why it's important for a company to have good corporate governance, and what you need in exactly as regards the corporate governance to be listed on the exchange, as well as you as a shareholder being able to register for an SCD or Securities Central Depository account. You should stick around and of course check him out. You can follow the conversation on Twitter. The hashtag is Financial Markets, and our handle is Smart24TV, and my personal handle is Anthony Sebs. And of course, you can catch all the latest content also on our website at www.smart24tv.com. And you will be you'll keep in touch and of course get updated on business matters. And now, of course, we're going to first have a look at the stock market as of yesterday. The stock market, as you all know, opens at exactly 9 a.m. here in Uganda and closes at 1 p.m. We have 18 listings here on the Uganda Securities Exchange, and these listings are, of course, within the jurisdiction of the Capital Markets Authority, and of course transact on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Leave alone, of course, the fact that there are other players like stockbrokers and so on, but the biggest player here is the Uganda Securities Exchange, to which all companies that are listed are able to carry out their trades. And of course, the Uganda Securities Exchange was mandated and incorporated in 1997 to be in charge of transacting or trading on all securities, ranging from the stocks onto other securities like the debt instruments, talking about treasury bonds, treasury bills, and the like. Now, yesterday's trading in aggregate, we had about 5 Uganda Securities Exchange listed equities that participated in trading there on the market. And amongst these, we had 7 gainers come on top, and about 3 or 4 bottom losers came down at the bottom. And we can see the top gainers on the screen behind me there were led by Nation Media Group company, cross-listed from Kenya, who came in with a 4.8% gain, the second day in a row. And we can see he ended the day with a price of 613.26 Ugandan shillings. And then we came out also with KCB as a top gainer there in the second place at a 2.69% gain, and the KCB came out with the price closing at 1,293.38. And then later on we see on the other side, as well as Equity Bank Limited came in the third place. All these are cross-listed from Kenya. Of course, the Kenyan election is looming, just a few days to the polls. And of course, now on the stock market, we have to see that, of course, influence of that particular election. But we're seeing that most of the stocks that are gaining are the cross-listed stocks from Kenya, with East African, with Equity Bank Limited coming in the third place, NMG, Nation Media Group, in the first place, and KCB in the second place. Jubilee Holdings Limited as well came in the fourth place with a 0.62% appreciation in price, and closed the day with the price of 8,122.38. As while for Kenya Airways, it came in at a 0.61% gain, closing the day with the price of 124.93 Ugandan shillings. MTN Uganda also was the only local or domestic company that gained on the counter with a margin of about 0.37% to end the day with a price of 185.68 Ugandan shillings. When we look at the all share index after this performance, of course, we see the all share index went up by 6.34 because of those counters like the KCB and NMG, mostly those that gained on the market. And we see that the index went up by 0.51%. And currently, the index stands at 1,259.48 points. And this represents a 1-week gain of 2.03% and a 4-week gain of 11.45%. But an overall year-to-date loss of about 11.35%. So in terms of year-to-date, the index is still lagging behind. But when you look at the 1-week performance, the index has gone up generally and by gaining about 2.03%. And when we look at the 4-week gain, we're also seeing an 11.45% gain there on the index. And of course, we had several losers. Only 3 losers, bottom losers, came out down there at the bottom of the stock markets yesterday. And these were led from the bottom by Centum Investment Company, who came out with a 9.32% loss, closing the day with 90. And then we see East African Breweries lost by 8.35% and losing by 5.7 shillings. And then MTN Umeme Uganda Limited also lost by 3.67% and losing by about 2.1 shillings. Centum Investment ended the day with a price of 260.96 Ugandan shillings per share after losing that 90 Ugandan shillings. And when we look at East African Breweries, he lost by 1.31%, and then Umeme lost by about 0.33%. In terms of volumes, Umeme recorded the highest volume traded. That was a volume of about 528,659 shares, followed by Stanbic Bank, who came in with a volume of 114,200 shares on a daily. And then MTN Uganda Limited also traded some volumes, about 19,418, while Cipla Quality Chemicals came in at 12,600. And of course, now when we look at these volumes here, we had a total volume of transactions that, of course, led to shares over 675,877 shares that were traded, corresponding to a market value of 107,581,000 that were traded. That is how much we are seeing on the market here. Then we see that compared with the previous Uganda Securities Exchange trading day, Wednesday, July 27th, the data shows an 111% improvement in the volumes that were traded and a 492% improvement in the turnover that we saw there on the market. And the current market capitalization of the Uganda Securities Exchange is currently 21.7 trillion Ugandan shillings. Now, looking at the other counters on the markets here, Bank of Baroda Uganda came in with a price of 85 Ugandan shillings, and you see that was the closing price for Bank of Baroda, but there were no traded volumes on Baroda stock. British American Tobacco Uganda at 15,000 also did not trade any volumes. And then Centum Investments also there did not trade any volumes, but came out as a loser with now a price of 260 0.96. Cipla Quality Chemicals at 70 Ugandan shillings came in as didn't actually have any difference in prices there. They did not change, but traded a total volume of 12,600 shares. And then we see DFCU Bank at 550 also did not trade any volumes, but remained at a price of 550. And then East African Breweries Limited at 4,583.11 closing price, lost by 61.06 Ugandan shillings. And then Equity Bank Limited gained by 18.83 Ugandan shillings and ended the day with a price of 1,484.21. KCB Bank, however, also came in as a gainer at 33.86 Ugandan shillings gain, closing the day with 1,293.38 Ugandan shillings. Kenya Airways at 124.93 came in as a gainer with 0.76 gain there in prices. MTN traded some volume here with a total of 19,000 shares. 19,418 shares traded and closing with a price of 185.68, and that was after a gain of 0.68 shillings. A National Insurance Company came in, of course, with a price of 6 Ugandan shillings as the closing price, but did not trade any volumes as well. And Nation Media Group came in with a price of 613.26 after a gain of 28.08. New Vision Printing and Publishing Company actually transacted about 1,000 shares and ended the day with still the same price of 155 Ugandan shillings. While Stanbic Bank Uganda came in with over 114,200 shares, but with the price of 21 Ugandan shillings. And then Uganda Clays at 19 cents there, did not trade any volumes, and neither was there any movement in pricings. While Wumeme Limited at 190.18 closing price, lost by 0.63 after trading a total of 528,659 shares. And yes, that was the trading performance there for all the stocks that are listed. And of course, the index went up, but we see that we still have a lot more to do, especially in terms of the volumes that are trading on the counters here in Uganda. But of course, the performance shows a little improvement, basically compared to the previous day, that's Wednesday. And we can say right now, the people that are influencing the markets definitely are you and me, who are the investors. The more we get interested, the more we get into the game, the more we get to invest and try to explore these opportunities, the better our markets will perform. And of course, today we're going to just take you through the registry process, because as you know, I've been here on the show telling you about the SCD account, but today we are going to have the director himself, Mr. Bob Musinguzi, to come and of course and I be able to make it onto the account. How do I deposit? How do I withdraw? And corporate governance as well. We shall also be looking at corporate governance. So if you're a company out there and you would want to be listed someday, and you've heard that I need to have corporate governance, of course, this is something that the exchange takes very seriously when it comes to listing of an entity, and they have to monitor the corporate governance of the institution, because you need to have these managers, these top leaders with very good skills when it comes to governance. And so we'll also be talking about that later on the show. But we're going to go into a very quick break. But of course, before the break, I would want to remind you that the Uganda Securities Exchange is giving you a chance to be able to trade on the stock using your smartphone, using your small phone whatsoever, by dialing *165 *65 hash. Of course, this initiative has been there for a while, and we're going to talk about a little bit more with Mr. Bob, but you must be able to start at least by opening the SCD account yourself. It doesn't require any money. You just have to simply dial *165 hash using your MTN SIM card, and you'll be able to access the details there for opening an SCD account. They require your personal information like your NIN number, how much, maybe your personal passport number, and so on, for you to be able to get to open that account. It works simply like any other account for depositing and withdrawing, but in this case, we are looking at securities, the fixed incomes, we are looking at the bonds and the bills, and also the stocks, we are looking at the shares. So whenever you buy, this account is credited, and whenever you actually sell, you see that the account is debited. We're going into a quick break, but when we return with a summary of the trading, and also looking into the top performers on the market, and later with Mr. Bob. Stay a while.